another episode of the podcast. This is probably 5 or 6 now. Kind of a regular old shebang here. We got a microphone here. We're going to see how this one holds up.
Yes, sir.
We're still working on the audio, new setting, but here we go. Week 9 of college football here? Maybe 10? I don't know.
Week 9.
But we're back. A lot of stuff has happened since we last spoke. Kind of big thing, big topic of conversation. We're recording this on Wednesday, November 2nd. Yesterday, Tuesday, November 1st. First college football playoffs. The rankings were released. You can see them. We got them on the screen here, number 1 through 8 showing. Of course, more below that. Initial thoughts, initial reactions, man. What's going on? What are we thinking?
Initial reaction? I think mine's pretty obvious right here. First ever time in the college football playoff rankings, Illinois, number 16.
Love to see it, man.
Huge deal. But going back up to the top, let's take a look here. Alabama getting 6. Kind of a homer pick here. Of course, it's Alabama. TCU should be ahead of them, but
love seeing Tennessee number 1. Tennessee's number 3 in the AP polls. Both Ohio State and Georgia ahead of them, but the body of work, man. Tennessee's got the wins, dude. I think they deserve number 1, so you love to see that. Love to see that. Clemson is kind of sneaky there in number 4. Kind of what you said about TCU. In my head, Clemson and TCU are the same. They're undefeated. They've got the job done, but maybe played less impressive than some of those other guys. So I figured that those two would be sandwiched together. But to see, Michigan and Alabama both, in the middle of them, kind of suspect to me. I'm not sure what the committee's going with. I got a future on Clemson to make the college football playoff, so I love it from that perspective. But
in my opinion, TCU's been more impressive than Clemson, actually.
Yep.
I purely think the fact that TCU started the season unranked is a big part of why they're behind Clemson right now.
It's the brand. I saw a lot on Twitter.
The brand.
You put TCU's resume, but you put a Texas Longhorn logo next to them, man, they're number 2 in the country.
Probably.
TCU with a big road win at Kansas. That probably is, helping them get up there.
Big road win at Kansas.
What's your thoughts, though? Is this going to, obviously, Tennessee and Georgia play this week. I know Ohio State and Michigan potentially in Indy Big Ten championship, so stuff will shake out. But what's your thoughts? What are you liking for maybe a Final Four at the end of the season, or cool scenarios that we could see?
Let's see. So my final predictions, probably I do think the SEC is going to get 2 teams in. I think Tennessee and Georgia are both going to make it. So even though one of them is going to lose this weekend, obviously, because they play each other.
Play in the SEC championship.
Yes.
Because they're both in the East.
Yes. Does Georgia play Alabama this year?
No, not regular season.
No, they do not play Alabama. Okay, that's interesting. So would that matter who wins that game?
You're saying
to make sure that both of them could get in? So which scenario that they both get in?
So one of the 2 teams is going to win this week. And then so say they both win out. So Georgia ends the season. Tennessee's going to win the game. So we'll just assume
I also think Tennessee's going to win.
So Georgia ends the season 10-1.
But Georgia won't have the win against Alabama, which is a big one.
But if Tennessee goes and beats Alabama, does that make Georgia's loss to them more respectable? But also, there's a scenario with Alabama. If LSU beats them this weekend, LSU's in the driver's seat.
Yeah. Oh, Alabama has to win out, in my opinion. And
for sure.
And some people might argue with that, but I think Alabama still has to win out.
Two-loss Alabama's not in.
Yeah.
Because LSU has the 2 losses. Ole Miss has 2 losses. And then if Alabama loses, they have 2 losses. But LSU has the head-to-head to both of them.
It'll definitely be something to watch with Clemson and TCU.
I'll say back to what you were saying.
Both,
2 SEC teams.
Both undefeated right now. If both of those teams run the table, at least one of them is going to get in. And it's going to be hard to keep them both out, which that is going to limit the teams. Then it's probably 1 Big Ten, 1 SEC.
Yeah, I'll say you figure that an undefeated Big Ten champ is in. Undefeated SEC champ is in. Here's a scenario. What if LSU beats Alabama, and then you've got in the SEC championship, you've got undefeated Tennessee versus 2-loss LSU. LSU beats them.
LSU wins. Yeah.
Could there be a scenario with no SEC teams?
No. I don't know. I mean, in that situation, it's going to be either Tennessee or Georgia, probably.
Both with 1 loss. Is Georgia's 1 loss to Tennessee better than Tennessee's 1 loss to LSU? But they have a head-to-head.
Yeah, I mean,
you figure there's a Big Ten team. We can assume that Ohio State, or Michigan or potentially your Illini, if
Or
they can run it
Illinois.
out the West, I think that
Those are
they're
the
in.
three.
You would assume that both Clemson and TCU control their own destiny because, again, Ohio State and Michigan, one of them is going to lose. Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama, only one of them will be, but like all three of them have at least one or two more chances against each other to stumble.
Mm-hmm.
So you figure that TCU, Clemson, and then Ohio State / Michigan control their destiny. The winner of Tennessee, Georgia obviously controls their destiny. Alabama controls their destiny. We'll see, man. We'll see. You brought up an interesting point about Illinois, though. Again, with the ability to control their destiny and make it to the college football playoff as everything unfolds. But there's some of these teams here above Illinois, like a Penn State or a Utah or K-State, that you think that even if they win out, they're still on the outside looking in, whereas you're not, and so that's kind of a skeet rank.
I brought up the point. If these truly are the college football playoff rankings, it kind of depends on how you view that. Is it a power ranking, a snapshot of today, the body of work up until this point, comparing just teams head to head, or is there a little bit of who has an actual chance of making the playoff? Then Illinois truly controls its own destiny. A 12-1 Illinois team with wins against at Michigan and Ohio State on a neutral site, or Michigan a second time on a neutral site, that gets them in. It just does. And right now, Penn State, Utah, K-State, LSU even, none of them truly control their own destiny. I think maybe if they win out, there's a chance, but there's other things that have to happen.
Teams in front of them.
Now, Penn State doesn't have a chance because they've already lost to both Ohio State and Michigan. So they have no chance of making that Big Ten championship. I'm not as sure about Utah, K-State, but
they would need a lot to fall their way. They would need TCU to lose a couple, Clemson to lose a couple, Alabama to lose.
So that's kind of where I see it. Is there's only 11 or 12 teams maybe that truly you could say control their own destiny. Maybe less.
Top even. 9, and then.
And by control,
maybe an Ole Miss and an Illinois. Honestly, I don't even think the USC does.
So that's
with that loss to Utah.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I think there's an argument to be made that we could be higher on this list. But if it is truly a power ranking, maybe our body of work up until this point isn't as impressive as a USC or something like that. But
so real quick to end it off, 2 questions: did the committee get it right? And what is your projection for who a Final Four will be come December?
Did the committee get it right? Let's see. I think the top 4 makes sense. I think Michigan and Clemson could have been flip-flop. I think TCU should have been in front of Alabama. I think Illinois could have been a few spots higher, but that's all right. I mean, I don't see how Penn State's in front of them. That's just the fact that they're in the same conference. I think there's a good shot they should be higher. LSU, I think, jumped way too high. I mean, it's
they're 15 in the AP poll. Five ranking difference.
So
but that's a fat jump.
That's not as bad as I thought, just because they were like 22 or something last week. So they made a big jump in the AP.
Another point a lot of people say on Twitter and such, not even my own analysis. We're not listening to other people on Twitter, of course, but that it might be like a rising tide lifts all boats situation with Ole Miss. Ole Miss's only loss is LSU, and with the committee valuing Ole Miss so much, that indirectly inflates LSU quite a bit.
Because that's similar to Illinois. Even at 16, our next 2 games aren't super impressive wins, assuming we do win those. Then you have that big test at Michigan, and let's say Illinois wins those, they jump up to maybe in this range, 13, 12, maybe 11, maybe crack top 10, who knows. But then they'd be up against a number 5, maybe a number 4 Michigan. And if we beat them, we would immediately, I think, jump right into this mix, which would be
you would have to be comparable to Alabama, because if you're a 1 loss,
So it's totally a theoretical situation out there, but so my top 4 though at the end of the season, if I had to put money on a top 4 and it had to be exactly right, I would say Tennessee, Ohio State. Oh man. I think an undefeated TCU deserves it over Clemson, an undefeated Clemson, but Clemson might get the nod over them. Yeah, let's go Tennessee, Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama. That's
Cool.
my
Do you have Alabama beating Tennessee in that SEC championship?
yeah. I think that's the only way that they'd
I
be
like
able to
it.
do it. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that seems like the most likely scenario in my eyes.
And that would be Tennessee-Alabama rematch would be awesome. I think that
Yeah.
Alabama would have the edge in that game just the second time around.
Oh
but
yeah, it's
that
hard
would
to beat a team twice. Yeah.
That would be hard. I like Ohio State to go undefeated and get in. I like. I'm going to say the same three as you there. No, I'm going to say Tennessee is going to beat them a second time.
Okay.
I'm huge on this.
So
Tennessee
no Alabama.
team.
No,
I'm
Alabama.
huge. So those top two will stay the same way all the way through. Tennessee and Ohio State. Clemson, I think, is going to lose. Like I said, I have the future, but I'm considering hedging because they're not very. They might lose to Notre Dame this weekend. Tennessee, Ohio State, undefeated TCU.
Yeah,
and
I think they deserve it.
So Georgia would have a loss to Tennessee, Michigan, and I'm going to say a Pac-12 champion, Oregon. Oof. Again, that would mean that they value a Pac-12 championship with one loss over one loss Georgia, one loss Michigan, both not playing in the national championship. So that would be interesting.
One loss Georgia.
To Georgia.
That beat Oregon.
Yeah.
Kind of bad.
That was
wild scenario. That's a wild scenario.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Georgia fans would not be happy.
Fans would be pissed.
Kirby Smart would not be happy.
I got to go a little wild card. You don't want to go straight chalk. So
no, of course not.
So that's what I'm rocking with. And did I think the committee got it right? Would have loved to see TCU a little higher.
Yeah.
I love them kind of fading Michigan with getting punished for having a weak non-conference schedule. I know they had teams cancel on them or whatever, but
extremely weak.
I love that they gave the nod to Tennessee. I love seeing Georgia 3. I love seeing Michigan 5. Maybe you drop Alabama 1, but they're for sure the best one-loss team.
Yep.
But yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Next here, man. We're both with a couple buddies heading up to Champaign this weekend, man.
Big matchup.
Michigan State comes to the Illini. Obviously, Memorial Stadium will be rocking, and the boys will be rowdy. What do you expect to see this weekend? As the local experts, sporting the crew, by the way, with the merch.
Yep. I'll talk about the merch here in a second, but I'm mostly looking forward to a packed Memorial Stadium. 60,000. It will be the first time I've seen it like that since like 2009, I think, was the last time we had a sellout, and I was actually at that game. So we got a 3-5 Michigan State coming in against a 7-1 Illinois, ranked 16th in these new college football playoff rankings. Michigan State, as you guys know, had quite the controversial ending to their game at Michigan. There was a
someone call it
really unfortunate altercation.
Someone call it criminal assault.
Yeah, an actual criminal assault. There will definitely be criminal charges brought up. So there were 4 players initially named by Michigan State, and so those 4 have all been suspended indefinitely. And then after further review of the video, there were 4 more added onto that list. So a total of 8 players by Michigan State are all suspended right now. 3 or 4 of them, I would say, are contributors. Only one of them is probably considered a key player. He's like a defensive, I think he might be like a linebacker or something like that. But yeah, so that's something to watch. I do think Michigan State's going to be a little bit thin on the defense, which hopefully will help Illinois out. We got the spread of 16.5 on this game. Should be a nice day, other than we got 40-mile-per-hour winds. We got ads going. That's fine. Yeah, so we do have 40-hour.
No free ads. We're not sponsored.
Yeah, we do have 40-mile-per-hour winds in the forecast, though. So if you guys know anything about Illinois' play style, Michigan State's play style, that really bodes well for the Illini, who have the nation's leading rusher, Chase Brown, supporting his NIL merch right here. So Chase Brown has the most rushing yards in all of college football at 1,208 through 8 games. He's got about 60 yards on second place and about 120 on third. So he's pretty much led the entire country all season long. I don't think anyone's overtaken him at all.
Entering the Heisman conversation, right?
Entering Heisman conversation. That's exactly right. The last time I was on here, I kind of brought that up, I think, and at that point he was getting no love, not really any love at all. I mean,
Nah.
Illinois at that point was only like 3-1, whatever. But last time I checked DraftKings, he's number 10 on their list of odds. He's like, I think 10-1 or something like that. It was
big time. 1-800-BETS-OFF if you struggle with a gambling addiction.
Yep, of course.
Only bet where you can afford to lose.
That is serious. But yes, yeah. So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you to bet Chase Brown Heisman. He's not going to win it. He really won't.
Rushing yards over, though, every week. Dude averages like 150 or something.
Yeah, he averages 150 a game, and his prop has been – it started in like the 80s and 90s, and last game I think it was like 120.
Hammer it.
And he had 180,
especially 40-mile-an-hour winds. That's going to be 90% of plays are going to be run. That's just ground and pound, man.
Yeah, so, this sweatshirt, which was actually a gift from my beautiful mother, Sabrina. Shout out, Sabrina. But, this costed, I don't know, $40, $60 or whatever. I'm pretty sure the players get half of that as part of NIL. So, Chase, if you're watching this, go ahead and get those rushing yards, and I'll make it back for my sweet mother, and I'll pay her back. I'll put it all on your rushing yards. But
you've been profitable for us. Thank you, man.
But yeah, I'm just really excited for this game. It's going to be a great atmosphere, I think. We got a Michigan State team that's kind of on the ropes. They've been struggling. They've had very little offensive success this season, and they like to throw the ball. And 40-mile-per-hour winds is not going to help that. Illinois, number one statistical defense in the country. Now, our strength of schedule is not as good as some other teams, so there's some arguments to be made there. But number one statistically, we have, I think, the number one passing defense. We have a top 10 overall pick cornerback right now projected. If we play our ball, I think this game quite literally could be a shutout and a decent win for the Illini. So,
big time.
Yep.
Big time, man. A little bit less exciting than we last spoke. The change. Any last words? I should. Anything else you want to get in on those Illini?
I mean, is there anything you're looking forward to? You're going up there.
I'm pumped,
for
man.
The trip.
Been to a couple games with you. Wisconsin game back in the high school days.
Nebraska last year.
Went
right?
to Nebraska last year. I don't know if anything else, but I just love college football, man. I feel like I've been kind of doing the circuit. This will be my fifth game, I think, this season. Fourth or fifth, whatever. Either way,
yeah,
I'm pumped, man. But, like you said, the boys are going to be driving up from St. Louis. It'll be fun. It's college football's a good time, man.
Yep.
I'm excited to get rowdy and make some noise.
I'm honestly just excited to have you guys there because that last game I went to, homecoming against Minnesota, it wasn't even a sellout, and I thought the atmosphere was absolutely electric. And I think there's going to be an extra 10,000 people there at this game for a full sellout. So should be a great time. Hopefully the weather doesn't deter any people from coming because it's going to be a great game. It's also Dad's weekend, so it's going to get extra rowdy with all the dads.
Shout out dads.
Jayhawks,
though, last time we spoke, we were 5-0, number 19 in the country. Heisman, number 4 or whatever at that point. Since then,
insane.
He obviously got hurt in that TCU game that I was at. That we could totally have won that game. Ended up only losing by a touchdown, even with the backup QB. Heartbreaker against Oklahoma. The wheels have just kind of fallen off, if we're being honest. We've got a couple winnable games coming up. OK State, we've got Texas Tech. We've got some winnable games. K-State at the end of the year there. This is going to be a gross game. Typically high scoring. Kind of a shootout type style. KU's got quarterback questions. Oklahoma State's got quarterback questions. We've obviously Devin Neal running. Or no, sorry, he's still playing. Highshaw is still out. It'll be a weird one. Oklahoma State only favored by a point is a little bit sus to me. I think that they're going to handle this game. I think that the momentum is gone. But again, KU's coming off the bye week. The boys have gotten healthy. We'll see. We're still on the cusp of again the first bowl game, the first potentially 500 or above season in close to 20 years at this point. Going on 15, 16 years. So we'll see. It'll be a good one. Finally, not an 11 a.m. start over there in Lawrence. It'll be a good one. We'll see how Oklahoma State responds to getting, shut out 48-0 by K-State, so that will be a big response game from them, who at one point was an undefeated top 10 team. Big response for KU coming off the bye week. So we'll see, man. It'll be we'll see. It should be a good one. It should be a good one, man. 3 losses in a row. We got to bounce back. Boys got to bounce back for sure. Next, we said we talked some betting, man. Cool.
Let's do it.
Here's our best plays here, man. First 4 are I guess my picks. Next 4 are yours.
Yep.
I love Tennessee, man. I love Tennessee.
Yeah, you do.
Give me the points and give me the money line. Georgia.
I love it. I love it.
I
like it too.
Have historically not played well against, I saw a ESPN tweeted out or something, Georgia versus number 1 offenses in the last 3 or 4 years. Like a couple Florida teams, a couple Bama teams, they get murdered, man. They let up points. And I think that Tennessee's offense is better than Georgia's defense. I love the points at LSU. Death Valley under the lights is crazy. I think that Alabama is going to struggle because I think that even with LSU maybe not being as good as number 10 in the college football ratings, I think they hang with Alabama. I think that that's like a classic shootout. Whoever gets the ball last is going to win. 40-40 in the fourth quarter, and whoever gets the ball last wins by a touchdown. And I love Kentucky over Mizzou. I think Kentucky's been underperforming, needs to bounce back. I think that Mizzou's been overperforming, and it is going to take kind of a step back. I love Kentucky there.
Yeah, and then let's get into I have the next 4 picks here. The first 2 picks are on that same Illinois game I was just talking about. Like I said, I think playing style just really falls well into what the weather forecast looks like. I mean, I don't really think the weather would have mattered anyways, but, you also are missing a few key defenders on Michigan State. I don't see Michigan State having much success on offense, which is a big part of why I like both the under and Illinois to cover 16.5. If I had to give like a score prediction on here, I'd say in the 24-30 range, I think Illinois can put up that amount of points, and I don't think Michigan State gets 10. So, I think Michigan State's probably going to be held to 1 or 2 field goals is honestly my thought. So I'm thinking 27-6 or something like that.
Love it.
That's my score prediction. So then the next 2, we're staying in the Big Ten. Penn State, I believe, travels to Indiana, 13.5 point favorites. I like that. I mean, Indiana just hasn't been very good at all. Penn State seems to have found a little bit of a stride since their loss to their loss to Ohio State was this past weekend, right? Yeah. And they were winning in the fourth quarter against the number 2 team in the country. So they had a fourth quarter lead against Ohio State, and they just fumbled it. They really did. I think they're pissed about that. I think they'll come out. If you look back, I mean, their game against Northwestern, I think, was a really weird game, but they beat Minnesota bad, and I think that was kind of a coming out game for them. And then they played well against Ohio State, struggled at the end to finish that one out. I think they're going to be pissed off. They see that ranking of, I think they were 15th in that ranking, in their heads, they still think they can make the playoff. They're going to just keep pushing, or maybe they have a chance at a Rose Bowl or something like that. So I like Penn State. And then Michigan, for similar reasons. I mean, Michigan's been good all year. They're the type of team that likes to run up the score. It's at Rutgers.
I think they're going to be insulted.
A struggling Rutgers. And I think they're a little insulted with this 5 ranking.
I didn't even consider that. They're going to want to pound
a little bit insulted. I think they probably think they should be in the top 4. So yeah, I like Michigan as well. -26.
Cool. We got a little new segment alert for you here. We're gonna
new segment alert. Yeah. So this is a segment. We are going to make some picks here. So kind of on the fly. We have not organized this at all. So as you can see here, we have 10 games we picked out ahead of time, and we have the spreads listed for you, just for your reference and our reference as well.
Sure. We're going straight winners, straight money line.
All we're doing is picking money line winners. That's all we're going to do, and we're going to alternate back and forth.
Snake draft or
no, just alternate, straight alternate.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll alternate back and forth, and then if we ever do it again, we'll just flip who starts. how we're going to determine who starts this first week is the famous coin flip. A little famous coin flip.
Go for it. What do you want?
I'll go tails never fails. And this is to go first.
To go first.
What do we got? Heads. All right. Aaron's up first, so he'll go ahead and take a pick. Once a game has been selected, it's off the board for everyone. You know, a lot of different strategies here, but I'll let you take it away.
I mean, I think there's an obvious first pick. Should I steal it from you, or should I?
Hey, you won the coin toss.
I mean, I'm gonna let you have it.
Whatever you like the most.
I'm taking TCU. TCU is gonna beat Texas Tech. Same vibe as Michigan. They are hosting a bad Texas Tech team at number 7 in the rankings. That's an insult to them. They're gonna put the beat down.
Yeah, I think that's easily a top
2 pick.
2 pick probably. I really do think an Illinois money line is a.
Is it safe to assume that
is a top pick here? So that's what I'm going to go ahead and go with is Illinois here. Yeah. I mean, if I like them 16.5, I better like a money line. So there you go.
My next pick, and this is hard. Like I said, I like Tennessee. I don't know about
to win
the game. To win the game. Oh, this might be out of pocket. This is totally going to be out of pocket, but I'm taking Texas.
Oh, wow!
Super out of pocket. We didn't really look at these.
I was thinking about going the other way on that one. That's okay. It's okay.
I think that K-State's
not on my board.
A little Super Bowl hangover.
Not on my board.
Texas is in a doer. They're
not on my board, but that's fine.
That's kind of out of pocket.
All right. I mean,
I'm scared of those first two because I like the underdog in both of those.
Yeah.
That was kind of out of pocket.
This is tough. I mean, some of these teams I haven't done much research on. I don't know. I mean, Wake Forest was a top 12 team, and they just got wrecked last week.
They took Clemson to overtime.
Yeah, but they took Clemson to overtime. They were ranked that high for a reason, and they just gets. But I do think NC State's quarterback is out, Devin Leary, and he's a very, very good quarterback. Syracuse at Pitt. Yeah. Yeah, this is tough. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna have to take Oklahoma State.
All right.
That's where I fall. After all of that, I'm only taking the smallest favorite on the board, 4th overall.
All right, then I'm gonna take Tulane.
Oh wow!
Because
I think I was sleeping on that pick.
They are ranked in the college football playoff. They're fired up. Tulsa, I think Tulsa was actually one of K-State's losses, unless that was Tulane. In my head, those are kind of the same schools. But I think that Tulane and the Wave are going to roll.
I like that. Well, this gets really hard.
We're both scared of those 2 big games, man.
I'm going to go Alabama. I'm going to do it.
I like that.
Alabama.
That's a good pick.
Alabama. I'm going to be sitting there rooting for LSU, but Alabama.
I don't like. I love him.
Oh, he loves it.
I love everything about him.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
I
like it though.
I got kind of some out of pocket picks here, but
I like it though. Okay, so we're in the first 5 are all picks. We got
those 2 kind of gross ACC games.
Oh, so
I guess 3 of them. Sorry,
so
2 more.
3 left, and they're all ACC.
You can tell where we are. We watch a lot of SEC. We watch a lot of Big 12, and we watch a lot of Big 10. I have no idea what I would do.
I hate to be this guy, but I'm probably gonna go Syracuse.
I like that.
Even though they're the underdog on the road, I think Syracuse kind of got embarrassed in that game. Who did they just lose to? They lost to
Syracuse.
Yeah, they just got their first loss. Was that Clemson? Did Clemson just beat them?
Clemson beat them like 2 weeks ago. That's like when we were.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure the Syracuse-Clemson game was the same day as Alabama-Tennessee.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I like Syracuse, though, in that game.
I I hate. I'm gonna take Wake Forest because I hate.
Well, they are 6. Oh, Notre Dame. Yep. Okay. Notre Dame was the one that smacked them, but that's why I think Notre Dame's a dangerous team, and
I'm scared of that game, dude.
that's what I'm saying. So, am I the last one?
Yeah.
And I have to pick the game I just said was scary. I mean, Notre Dame.
This is fun, dude. I like this. We should make a wager on this. Like whoever gets the best out of 5. I don't know, $20 or something cheeky.
I'm down to do that, or we could just keep tally the whole season and do like one wager on that. I'm down to do like 20 on like a whole season bet. Maybe.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so we're
talking about 20,000, by the way. Those are our units. Come on.
Yeah, 20 racks. We'll just keep our like running total all season long and just let you guys know how we did each week. Yeah, Clemson Notre Dame. This is an awful game to have to pick. Clemson's feeling
scared.
Clemson's on cloud 9 right now. They can feel the pressure. They hear people talking about them. They do know they need to go undefeated. I think they know if they lose this game, it's going to be very difficult.
At least I'll say maybe not impossible, but very hard.
Very difficult, and they know that probably. So that's something you got to take into account. But Notre Dame is still Notre Dame. That crowd is going to be crazy.
This is their game of the year. Their season is total wash. Like this would be a huge win. And they would.
I mean, they could even somewhat save their season in a way. It's a first-year head coach.
Yeah.
You know, they could at least make a run to a respectable bowl with a win like this. I think everyone knows where I'm leaning here, and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to pick Notre Dame. Notre Dame at home. Fighting Irish.
So, yeah, we'll see here. We've got 7 of the home teams, 7 of the road teams, only 3 home teams. And then we've got favorite, underdog, favorite, underdog, favorite, 7 and 3. Okay, I thought there was more underdogs in there, but we'll see.
That feels about right, though. Yeah.
Drop your predictions down below. Drop your thoughts on the college football playoffs. Any questions you got? Any new segments you want to see? That's kind of it from my end. You got any closing thoughts, man?
Nah, just let us know what what you think about the pod. Anything we could do to improve it.
We're gonna talk a little basketball. Not to interrupt you. Talk a little basketball.
We got basketball
next
preview
week
coming up,
or the dates or whenever we get around to it. Well, we'll talk some basketball. So any basketball topics, we'll maybe do like early Final Four predictions. Obviously, Illinois and Kansas predictions.
Take a look at the preseason top 25, all the early matchups that are coming up. There's some big games that come up right at the beginning, including Kansas. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about here, and then we'll also have recaps of all the games this week. The insane 1 versus 1 for the first time ever, 1 in the AP versus 1 in the CFP ranking.
Big
so
time.
Got a lot of big games we can discuss.
Big time.
Yep.
Follow Ron Betts and Blazing Betts on Twitter for all your locks.
Let's do it,
and we'll catch you on the flip. ILL this weekend. See you in Champaign, Illinois. If you find us, we'll be in section 22.
Yep, in the horseshoe.
We'll all be wearing orange. You'll spot us easily. Oh, it's not.